I always say if people looked at the world like artists look at the world, we might not be as screwed up as we are.
We're very aware that museums are institutions and they carry with them the weight and the power, long history of strong financial endowment and the privilege to kind of set the rules.
What I really am impressed by here at the Morris Museum is that both the director, the senior staff, and the board members are really open to new ideas, and that's really, really refreshing. So I said, well, what if we were to have graffiti and street artists paint directly on our museum walls?
Graffiti, of course, has been showing up in the museum world for some decades at this point. I think it took a lot of trust and courage on the artist's part. It's certainly more risk-taking for them probably than even for us.
After this idea of a graffiti and street art exhibition had been received positively by everybody associated with this museum, I set out to identify a co-curator.
So the opportunity to think about how we might do it differently here at the Morris Museum was a very exciting new project to embark on.
Ron, the chief curator of the museum, reached out to me around February, March, and he asked me would I be interested in putting this show together with him. And originally I was hesitant. Being away from Jersey for a while, I honestly didn't think I would be the right fit, to be honest. It's like, but my perspective has changed. And Ron was like, well, that's what I'm interested in.
We went back and forth discussing who the artists could be.
And once we got a set amount of, I think it was 11, 12 artists, including myself, we put all of the particulars together and everybody came out over the course of a week and rocked out.
Will Casso hit me up, and I really didn't know him. I didn't meet him until the show, and when he asked me if I wanted to be part of the show, and I was like, yeah, but I didn't really take it serious. And once he sent the contracts and things like that, I said, okay, this guy's serious, and we met up, and I'm glad I did.
As soon as I saw the invitation about what he was doing and the fact that he was considering me to be a part of it, I was really humble, excited, because the words graffiti and museum very rarely get put into the same sentence. I love that it was a good mix of people that were both like insiders to the culture, people that were friends or family or like just interested in graffiti normally, and then a lot of people that were sort of being exposed to it for the first time. So getting to see it up close in person at the scale that it's at, hearing us talking about it, I know that sort of opened up a lot of eyes to some of Morris Museum's like members and their sort of core audience. But then it was also great to see sort of the graffiti following sort of invade the space also. It was cool.
Everything that you see on the street is not just something just random. There's stories behind those names, those figures, or those words that you don't necessarily understand or can't read. There's a story behind that. Someone took the time, took the risk with the intention on someone paying attention. We have to look deeper than what's on the surface, and I think this show exemplified that, because literally we took the energy that was on the street, and be it that it was structured, it was still the same vibe. It's like, I think by midweek, it was almost like, it was just a bunch of homies painting together.
I have to say, everybody was so excited that this was a breath of fresh air, that we were this new institution. I mean, it couldn't have gone any better. I think it's going to be a challenge to sort of top this next year. I felt that this was an opportunity for an institution like ours to actually give credit to the people who serve as the inspiration for the fine artists who are studio trained. I don't think that this is going to be the last that we're going to see of graffiti and street art here at the museum.